Thanks, Alex. It's James Crisp from Euractiv. On migration, different member states have different rules on asylum. There are some countries where refugees can start working immediately. Others need to get asylum seeker status. I think there are also some countries where migrants are registered almost immediately and others where they aren't. And I was wondering if it's part of the Commission's thinking to sort of try and standardize those rules across the EU.
Refugee crisis, Natasha, please.
So, as you know, we have common European asylum rules that have been progressively and persistently put in place over the last decade. Notably on the Asylum Procedures Directive, what that says is that whilst we are processing the asylum application of an individual in any EU member state, then they have to be, their human dignity must be preserved, meaning that we must provide them with food and housing. How member states do that is their choice. Normally, an asylum application should be processed within 6 months. This is the deadline fixed by EU rules. Should an asylum application last longer, what the rules say is that after 9 months, access to the labour market should be facilitated. So that's where we are in the current situation of EU legislation, which can, of course, can always be developed going forward. This is, that's all I've got to say for the moment.
Okay, for you. Yes, please, behind.
Follow up. Does the regulation say anything about providing work immediately?
Sorry?
Immediately.
No, it doesn't. This, at the moment, is left to the national level for member states to decide. And at the moment, legislation differs from one member state to the other.
Okay, I see 4 more questions. Let me start there.
Yes. Can you confirm that the European Commission is working to a new resettlement and relocation system for 120,000 migrants? And if it's the case, we are talking about new quotas plus the other 40,000, or it's just the 40,000 will be part of this 120,000? Thanks.
So, of course, we're not going to comment on leaks, rumours, or gossip. President Juncker will elaborate on the further legislative proposals that we would like to take in his State of the Union speech next week. There are a number of measures we have already announced, notably a safe country of origin list harmonised at EU level and a permanent relocation scheme that could be activated for future crises. We are accelerating our work on these in order to be able to be ready to discuss concrete proposals by the 14th of September when we have the Extraordinary Home Affairs Council. But of course, beyond the proposals that you already know are coming, we are also looking to see what can be done, notably to assist Greece, Italy and Hungary. It was always clear that the relocation mechanism we proposed for Italy and Greece of 40,000 people was only ever going to be a starting point.
Yes. So we had 3 questions over here. Why don't you start and then we go here and there.
Hi, Natasha. Yeah, this is not a leak, but the Council President Tusk announced the need for 100,000 refugees to be taken into Europe. Have you coordinated with him on that figure, or is that something you've discussed?
Of course, the European Council and the European Commission remain separate institutions. The European Commission is the initiator of legislation, so it will be us that come forward with our proposals. We are, of course, in constant and permanent contact with all of the key players on this issue, including the European Council.
So you coordinated with them? You discussed this number with them?
I cannot speak for President Tusk, nor would I presume to. So perhaps you can direct your questions to him if you want to know where that figure comes from.
Thank you. Very clear. Tom?
As the Austrians and the Italians have reintroduced border controls on the Brenner, did they notify this to the Commission, and for what was the reasoning, and how long will this be done?
Italy has not introduced border controls at its frontier with Austria, and the Commission has received no notification to this effect. We are, of course, in contact with the Italians and the Austrians, and we are aware that increased police checks are being carried out, which is, of course, possible, including in border regions.
There was another question there. Has it disappeared? It has disappeared. But Tom has another one.
Sorry. So they did not notify anything, or did they notify that they are making what police controls or not border controls? Or how do you establish the difference?
Police checks do not need to be formally notified to the Commission. We are aware that they are ongoing, but we have received no formal notification of any temporary reintroduction of border controls, and this is indeed not the case.
Any other questions for Natasha, the refugee crisis? This is not the case. Natasha, thank you very much. Any other questions on other subjects? Doesn't seem to be the case. In which case we meet again tomorrow at 12 o'clock, most probably with a live-streamed press conference from Greece. Thank you.